Hello, hello. I hope I'm coming in stereo. Happy Friday, everybody. Whew, I made it. What? I can't believe I made it. Oh my goodness. I've missed the last couple Fridays, and I'm so sorry about that. But here I am, and it's a good Friday. Well, it's not the good Friday, but it is a good Friday for me. I hope it's a good Friday for you. It's good to see you all. Benjamin, Diana, Nora. I'm ready to dive right in today. I have so many things rolling around and rattling in my head and streams I want to do, but for some reason I've just been made mute this week. I've got this whole show lined up, a great show, but I've just been observing people and just not really having it in me to put out this show. But I'm excited when I do have it. Hi, Dorinda. Great to see you, sweetie. Today we're going to be doing the second part of public education, and I really learned a lot the last time. I learned so much. I want to put those things that I learned with the universal beliefs that all those who joined together to create a self-governing government decided to agree upon. I mean, haven't we always been curious? Like, how did they do that? No denomination could really have an influence with their beliefs, but they wanted to have certain beliefs that they could agree on, and I call that being on the same page. And I do believe that the Constitution is the same page we need to get on. So, my name is Deanna, and I'm streaming out of Humboldt County, about Humboldt County to Humboldt County, and I am going through this study myself, and I'm also streaming it live as I am learning it. So I am no professional teacher, accredited or whatever, but I am willing to be transparent and raw and real with you as I learn this. So if you do like my style, I do stream about other things and I go totally off the rails. But that's not for everybody. So, I keep it reined in for the study, for all of our sakes. Because that's what they did too. And they were able to set aside all their opinions for the common it's not called welfare, is it? Commonwealth. The common good. And so we're doing the second part of public education right now. And that's already been uploaded for us. So let me get over to there and show you. If you don't have your own copy of this whole kit and study, you can get your own. And if you can't afford to get it, then if you just want to follow along with me, I share it as I am going through the study. This is the time I've set aside from myself to learn what I'm learning. I haven't actually read a lot of this yet. This is my first time. I uploaded this for us, so I know that we're on question 7 through, no, it's 4 through, let's see. So if you go to Stand Up Humboldt News, at .news, and you go to the far right tab under Constitution Study, there's where you can get your kit. Or down here, we're on questions 4 through, if I can get through 7, these are pretty long. I think we could do it though. We're going to start with describing the founders' campaign for equality of all religions. And what I've done is I've uploaded pages 75 through 92 for now, while we're just going through this from last Wednesday and today. And it'll probably stay up there till Monday. I would like to get ahead of it. I'd love to get the next questions up for you. That would be ideal. And the next, read. But hey, it's okay if this is the first time you're hearing it. Go back and read through it all. I didn't necessarily read all of it. But what I found interesting, just to quickly recap, since we're doing part 2, here was the three responsibilities that they found, that the 3 subjects that were the most important that they agreed upon: religion, morality, and knowledge. Okay, and then here are the 5 fundamental points that they felt should be taught in the schools. One, there exists a creator who made up all things and mankind should recognize and worship him. Two, the creator has revealed a moral code of behavior for happy living which distinguishes right from wrong. Three, the creator holds mankind responsible for the way they treat each other. Four, all mankind live beyond this life. And five, in the next life, mankind are judged for their conduct in this one. So those were, these are no denomination was allowed to come in with any of their, well, no, I think this, and, Baptist, Calvinist, whatever. It wasn't happening. This is what they wanted. This is how they did it. So now we're going into the next questions. Because we just read, I wrapped it up with Alexis de Tocqueville, remember? So 4, describe the founders' campaign for equality of all religions. So now we'll see how they got to here. So we go to just show more. It looks like there's not any more, but just hit show more and then more will load. Okay, so 84, we wrapped up Tocqueville, and right there, this is how easy of a study it is. It asks you the question, then you go to the book, it says, the founders' campaign for equality of all religions. Well, I think this is going to be the answer, you guys. One of the most remarkable undertakings of the American founders was to do something no other nation had ever successfully achieved, the task of providing legal equality for all religions, both Christian and non. Jefferson and Madison were undoubtedly the foremost among the founders. Oh, wait. Oh, I don't even have my microphone, but you guys must be able to hear me or you would have let me know. Okay. I'm sure somebody would have said you can't hear me. Right? Okay. Yeah, because I don't have my microphone here and I just realized it. Sorry about that interruption there. Jefferson and Madison were undoubtedly the foremost among the founders in pushing through the first of these statutes in Virginia. Jefferson sought to de-establish the official church of Virginia in 1776, but this effort was not completely successful until 10 years later. Meanwhile, wait, am I on the right thing? No, I forgot the first page. One of the most remarkable undertakings of the American founders. Yeah, I did that already. I'm sorry. I'm just out of it right now. I'm off. Something's off. Something's off. Meanwhile, in 1784, Patrick Henry was so enthusiastic about strengthening the whole spectrum of Christian churches that he introduced a bill establishing a provision for teachers of the Christian religion. This document is reproduced in the supplementary appendix of Everson v. Board of Education. I usually skip all that. I should have. It was the intention of this bill to provide that each taxpayer would designate to what society of Christians his money should go. The funds collected by this means were to make provision for a minister or teacher of the gospel, or the providing places of divine worship for that denomination, and to none other use whatever. Madison immediately reacted with his famous Memorable and Remonstrance against Religion and Assessments, in which he proclaimed with the greatest possible energy the principle that the state government should not prefer one religion over another. Equality of religions was the desired goal. He wrote, "Who does not see that the same authority which can establish Christianity in exclusion of all other religions may establish with the same ease any particular sect of Christians in exclusion of all other sects? The bill violates that equality which ought to be the basis of every law." Okay, and let's see. It looks like we may be getting into... Wait, was I on the same page for you? I turned to page 86, yeah. Okay. So I think we're getting into the next question here. Let's see. See if we feel good about that answer. No, I'm going to go back up to the questions. One of these has to stay on the questions. Describe the founders' campaign for equality of all religions. Well, their campaign. This is sounding like a debate to me again, right? The founders' campaign. Remarkable undertaking. Do something no other nation had done. I mean, it just sounds like they're debating it, and then there's writings about it, right? But it's a campaign, I guess. So, Memorable and Remonstrance. Madison reacted with his famous memorable and remonstrance against religion assessments. Equality of religions was the desired goal. So they wrote about it, they debated it. That's what it seems to me. Again, that was what the campaign was. Okay, 5. Constitutionally, why and how did the founders exclude the federal government from involving itself in matters of religion? Well, we kind of read about that, where I thought that was where they wanted that monies to go, and he had a hard time. But it says, we're going to read on here. Let's read this here, 86 through 89. Is that one? 86 or 89. Why the founders wanted the federal government excluded from all problems relating to religion and churches. The Supreme Court has stated on numerous occasions that to most people, freedom of religion is the most precious of the unalienable rights next to life itself. When the United States was founded, there were many Americans who were not enjoying freedom of religion to the fullest possible extent. At least 7 of the states had officially established religions or denominations at the time the Constitution was adopted. These included Connecticut was the Congregational Church, Delaware, Christian Faith, Maryland, Christian Faith, Massachusetts, Congregational Church, New Hampshire, Protestant Faith, New Jersey, Protestant Faith, South Carolina, Protestant Faith. Under these circumstances, the founders felt it would have been catastrophic and might have precipitated civil strife if the federal government had tried to establish a national policy on religion or disestablish the denominations which the states had adopted. Nevertheless, the founders who were examining this problem were anxious to eventually see complete freedom to all faiths and an equality of all religions, both Christian and non-Christian. How could this be accomplished without stirring up civil strife? Whoops, get back up there. Justice Story describes the founders' solution. In his famous commentaries on the Constitution, Justice Joseph Story of the Supreme Court pointed out why the founders, as well as the states themselves, felt the federal government should be absolutely excluded from any authority in the field of settling questions on religion. He stated, in some of the states, Episcopalians constituted the predominant sect. In others, Presbyterians. In others, Congregationalists. In others, Quakers. And in others again, there was a close numerical rivalry among contending sects. It was impossible that there should not arise perpetual strife and perpetual jealousy on the subject of ecclesiastical ascendancy if the national government were left free to create a religious establishment. The only security was in exerting the power. But this alone would have an imperfect security if it had not been followed up by a declaration of the right of the free exercise of religion and a prohibition, as we have seen, of all religious tests. Thus, the whole power over the subject of religion, this is in all caps, by the way, the whole power over the subject of religion is left exclusively to the state governments to be acted upon according to their own sense of justice and the state constitutions. This is why the First Amendment of the Constitution provides that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Jefferson and Madison emphasized the intent of the founders. It is clear from the writings of the founders as well as the commentaries of Justice Story that the First Amendment was designed to eliminate forever the interference of the federal government in any religious matters within the various states. As Madison stated during the Virginia Ratifying Convention, there is not a shadow of right in the general government to intermeddle with religion. Its least interference with it would be a most flagrant usurpation. Jefferson took an identical position when he wrote the Kentucky Resolutions of 1798. It is true, as a general principle, that no power over the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, or freedom of the press being delegated to the United States by the Constitution, all lawful powers respecting the same did of right remain and were reserved to the states or to the people. the Supreme Court as well as Congress excluded from jurisdiction over religion. In the Kentucky resolutions, Thomas Jefferson also made it clear that the federal judicial system was likewise prohibited from intermeddling with religious matters within the states. He wrote, "Special provision has been made by one of the amendments to the Constitution which expressly declares that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof," thereby guarding in the same sentence and under the same words the freedom of religion, of speech, and of the press, insomuch that whatever violates either throws down the sanctuary which covers the others, and that libels, falsehood, and defamation, equally with heresy and false religions, all caps again, are withheld from the cognizance of federal tribunals. Ooh. Ooh. 6. What is the origin and meaning of the phrase, a wall of separation between church and state? Oh, the moment we've all been waiting for. No, just kidding. But not really. D-Dog, I'm missing you. Where are you? When Thomas Jefferson was serving in the Virginia legislature, he helped initiate a bill to have a day of fasting and prayer. But when he became president, Jefferson said there was no authority in the federal government to proclaim religious holidays. In a letter to the Danbury Baptist Association dated January 1st, 1802, he explained his position and said the Constitution had created a wall of separation between church and state. In recent years, the Supreme Court has undertaken to use this metaphor as an excuse for meddling in the religious issues arising within the various states. It has not only presumed to take jurisdiction in these disputes, but it has actually forced the states to take the same hands-off position toward religious matters, even though this restriction originally applied only to the federal government. This obviously distortion of the original intent of Jefferson, when he used the metaphor of a wall separating church and state, becomes entirely apparent when the statements and actions of Jefferson are examined in their historical context. It will be recalled that Jefferson and Madison were anxious that the states intervene in religious matters so as to provide for equality among all religions, and that all churches or religions assigned preferential treatment should be disestablished from such preferment. They further joined with the other founders in expressing an anxiety that all religions should be encouraged in order to promote the moral fiber and religious tone of the people. This, of course, would be impossible if there were an impenetrable wall between church and state on the state level. Jefferson's wall was obviously intended only for the federal government, and the Supreme Court application of this metaphor to the states has come under severe criticism. It's like COVID policies. Those policies and mandates and all that is only supposed to apply to the federal government. And even then, they overstepped with what they did. Okay, 7. How were the states encouraged to deal with matters involving religion? This is our last question. And easy answer here. Religious problems must be solved within the various states. In Thomas Jefferson's second inaugural address, he virtually signaled the states to press forward in settling their religious issues, since it was within their jurisdiction and not that of the federal government. In matters of religion, I have considered that its free exercise is placed by the Constitution independent of the powers of the general government. I have therefore undertaken on no occasion to prescribe the religious exercises suited to it, but have left them as the Constitution found them, under the direction and discipline of state or church authorities acknowledged by the several religious societies. Jefferson, along with the other founders, believed that it was within the power of the various states to eliminate those inequities which existed between the various faiths, and then pursue a policy of encouraging religious institutions of all kinds because it was in the public interest to use their influence to provide the moral stability needed for good government and the happiness of mankind. Jefferson's resolution for disestablishing the Church of England in Virginia was not set up as a let me start over. Jefferson's resolution for de-establishing the Church of England in Virginia was not to set up a wall between the state and the church, but simply, as he explained it, for the purpose of taking away the privilege and preeminence of one religious sect over another, and thereby establishing, in all caps again, equal rights among all. Let me see what these other two, are they still? No, we're going into different pages. Okay, so that was today's study. That was all about public education. And now we see the misunderstanding here. When one man decided to honor his people and not push his own religious preference when he got into public appointments, he just, that's integrity. That was on page 83. Let me read that again. That was the heart of this matter. What happened with the church and state, again, just to recap this. Oh, no, that wasn't 83. That was Tookwell. What page should we start on? Jefferson. 89, 88 and 89. Let's see. The federal wall. This is really the part that we need to understand better right now. When Thomas Jefferson was serving in the Virginia legislature, he helped initiate a bill to have a day of fasting and prayer. But when he became president, Jefferson said there was no authority in the federal government to proclaim religious holidays. In a letter to the Danbury Baptist Association dated January 1st, 1802, he explained his position and said the Constitution had created a wall of separation between church and state. That's not a law. That's not a boundary for us all. That was one that a man with integrity put up and put in a letter, and people are running around using that in abusive ways now. Because we have learned, and we can clearly see what the founders got on the same page about was not godlessness, right? So I just want to make sure we got that point home, because they believe there exists a creator who made up all things and mankind should recognize and worship him. The creator has revealed a moral code of behavior for happy living which distinguishes right from wrong, was 2. 3 is the creator holds mankind responsible for the way they treat each other. 4, all mankind live beyond this life. 5, in the next life mankind are judged for their conduct in this one. And they thought and believed that religion, morality, and knowledge should be taught in public schools. That's the heart of this study. So I learned a lot. I hope you learned a lot too. And I appreciate you guys hanging out. And for sure you did hear me. Okay, thank you. Because I don't know what, I do have a lot to stream today, or this weekend. I hope to get on and stream. I've got a whole show, you guys. I've had it since Sunday night. It just came in like a flood. I want to share it, but I'm telling you, I've been made mute this week, and I was gonna schedule a show later with do a pet care show, but I forgot. I'm going on Indie show today at 4:30, so I had to delete that one real quick. I knew when I was setting it up, I'm like, I have something today. I know I'm doing something. What am I doing today? Sorry, Indy, if you saw that, don't panic. I remembered. I got you, girl. I'll be on Indy's fireside chat today. I think it's 4:30 Pacific. So that's what I'll be doing. But I got to go walk the ponies now. And thank you all for being here. And I hope you enjoyed that and enriched your mind. I sure did. I sure did. And if you see that D-Dog guy around, tell him I said hey, okay? All right, love y'all. See you later. Bye.